After their impressive first place finish in the regular season of the Summer Split, Rogue were the first team to qualify for the World Championship. This year's LEC Summer Split was without a doubt the most competitive split in European League of Legends, with each team having a chance at qualifying for the playoffs and in turn for a spot at Worlds. This can be attributed to the rise of new promising talent and the slump observed from the more established veterans. Yet, in the midst of all that chaotic competition, Rogue confidently secured first place with wins over every other LEC team with the exception of G2. A big reason why this was possible was Rogue possessed a desirable but in some ways detrimental quality that other LEC teams lacked throughout the entire split: consistency. What do we mean by consistency in this context? And how can consistency ever be bad? To answer these questions, we will have to understand Rogue's way of dealing with the pick and ban phase with their champion pool, type of team compositions, and side selection usage. Hi, my name is Arnos, and welcome to my new video series where I crack down on the drafting trends of the best teams heading to the 2020 League of Legends World Championship. This is Worlds Contenders. Number 1. Champion Pool. At the moment, Rogue's draft primarily comprises of the following champions in each position. These champions are selected based on the number of games played and their respective win rates. Unlike other teams in the LEC, Rogue have one of the most definitive and explicit champion pools. At the end of the regular split, Rogue had played 55 unique champions in total, which is the lowest number of played champions in the entire league. Between Rogue and G2, who were at the opposite ends of the spectrum, there was a 27 unique champion difference. Compare this to the other teams that qualified for playoffs, and you can see that Rogue were either unwilling or unable to expand their champion pools. Since they do not possess as large champion pools as the other top teams in G2, Fnatic, or Mad Lions, Rogue must rely on the few practiced comfort picks that are still powerful enough to be run in the current patches. This greatly affects the flexibility Rogue can potentially have in the draft and thus in terms of gameplay, but they are willing to sacrifice such flexibility for consistency. The consistency that arises from being able to play the few same champions grants the players mastery of these champions along with coordination and teamwork. But at the same time, teams can easily abuse Rogue's consistency by either target banning, pick stealing, or countering the few same champions Rogue love to play. And so the main problem from their consistency lies here. They are predictable. And if we know anything about the teams going to Worlds, the last thing you want to be is predictable. As you will see from their team compositions and pick ban style, this will be a recurring theme in the way Rogue like to set up for their drafts. Number 2. Team composition. What kind of team compositions do Rogue like to play? Due to the nature of their small champion pools, if we take a look at the type of team compositions Rogue have played throughout the summer split, they are strictly limited to exactly one type: charge comps. Charge comps are the traditional front-to-back team comp in League of Legends. They consist of more than one tank or bruiser in the team paired with at least 2 reliable sources of damage, most of which will come from the AP mid laner and the AD carry. If you need a brief rundown of the 6 types of team compositions in League of Legends, check out my draft theory video on them. Link is in the top right corner. Charge comps are one of the easiest team comps to execute, as they provide heavy amounts of crowd control, area of effect damage, and are simple and straightforward in the way players have to approach the team fights. Tanks in the front, bruisers flank from the side, and damage dealers on the back. Therefore, it is easy to predict that Rogue would field the charge comp, and so we can counter that by either picking a split push comp to avoid the team fights and play for the side lanes, or a capture comp that can snowball out of control before 15 minutes. Of course, both of those comps are harder to execute in the current state of the game since dragons are now a huge priority. Regardless, other team comps that don't prioritize teamfights around the dragons are viable as long as the team is willing to practice it in preparation for Worlds. Any team that has basic knowledge in how to prepare for the draft will just have to look at Rogue's match history to see that they are the most consistent and therefore predictable team in terms of what type of team compositions they like to run. Number 3. Pick ban style. Depending on the side which Rogue gets to play on, their drafts become more effective or limited. What do we mean by this? Because Rogue enjoy exclusively fielding charge comps, they are largely uninterested in countering the opponent's draft and will not go out of their comfort zone to suddenly have other types of team comps. Picking counters is a popular strategy that teams on the red side like to have since they get to have the last pick in the draft. On the other hand, teams that have set team comps in mind would rather have blue side as it allows them to have first pick in the draft along with ban priority. Rogue's preference for blue side is apparent in their win rate based on side selection. When drafting from red side, Rogue have only won 4 out of their 9 best of ones. When drafting from blue side, Rogue have won 8 out of their 9 best of ones. This is mainly due to the presence of several strong blind picks such as Azir, Senna, Set, and Gangplank, all of which happen to be comfort picks for Rogue, giving them the leisure to worry less about the possible counters that can come out from red side. So, Rogue would want to have blue side's first pick and ban priority. Picking blue side to prioritize blind picks over countering the enemy's comp on red side is not unique to Rogue, as the overall win rate for blue side across all games in the LEC summer split is higher than the red side's, 53.3% to 46.7%. Compare this to the spring split where red side had a 52.2% win rate while blue side had a 47.8% win rate. Red side was considered better during the spring split due to the prevalence of flex picks that are no longer considered viable as flexes in the summer split. Flex picks allow for the red side team to conceal the positions of each champion until both teams have completed their drafts, which then the red side team would shuffle around their champions to give them the most advantageous or comfortable matchups. However, that is no longer the case for the summer split, as the priority on flex picks was replaced for blind picks, and Rogue have identified that blue side selection gives them the highest chances of setting up for their drafts. Conclusion. All of the things we have mentioned about Rogue's drafting style regarding their champion pool, team composition, and side selection point towards their consistency in the way they draft. Rogue were rewarded for their consistency during the regular season of the summer split, as teams were unable to properly draft against them, despite their predictable champion choices and usage of charge comps. This gave Rogue ample time to practice and perfect their execution of those comfort picks, giving them an edge in both the laning phase and during the team fights. Of course, this doesn't mean that Rogue don't have the opportunity to widen their champion pools and change the type of team comps they can play. After all, I think a big reason why they haven't done so already is because their current playstyle was working until now. There's no incentive to diversify or adapt your strategy if you only have had success with it. The mindset here is that you keep running the same drafts over and over until you meet a wall that forces you to fix your underlying problems. But eventually, you will hit that wall. It is inevitable, especially in a rapidly evolving game like League of Legends. And oh my god, did they get punished.
Hansama has cleansed, has flashed up, he dives in, Hansama has no chance!
Just back, now the final nemesis.
Locked up the Glacial Prism, pops the culling, of course was buffed on 10-16, but here comes Selfmade, here comes the rest of Fnatic, Finn and Inspired have overstepped, there's one, there's two! Hylissang takes one and Nemesis gets anyone would be hard pressed to say they're not going to win, because wow, okay, that was unexpected. Selfmade gets one, he's looking for two, the champ's going to go out on Bandit, here comes Reckless and TP coming in. Fnatic aren't going to give them their final chance. The Fnatic buff, well, it seems to be well and truly alive as they take down Rogue in game one. Dragon's going to be secured already, Hylissang flashes forward, is hooked in, the silence comes out, but here comes the Requiem as well. Shut down already onto Larson, he is dead. Hansama pulls back with a face call, Vandal jumps back in and Hansama now gets one shut down, but he's gone down. Finn jumping into the fight as well, it's a 4v3 in favor of Fnatic, they find another, football going in, Reckless goes down, but Finn will fall, and it's an ace for Fnatic.
And it's a clean 5 for
Zoning hook there. Vander's going to step forward, but his hook goes wide, and Whippo brings the ram in from the side. Dawning Shadow alongside the Requiem forces all of Rogue to retreat, and Fnatic will just knock down the front door.
A huge overreach there from Vander that Fnatic rightfully punished and could now look to just close out the game. Missing some key ultimates here.
On the side, Vander down to a sliver of HP and just gets taken out by Selfmade. Finn chased away by Reckless. There's another. Nemesis gets the kill. Selfmade goes down as well. The shutdown for Larson as he tries to dodge away. Puts up the Emperor's Divide and just about survives. But the Dawning Shadow is on its way up for Reckless. And the gun connects. Double for Reckless. The sensational play.
This game and look for the 3-0 sweep over Rogue.
Spider's well going to use that Nimbus cloak to try and get in, but the curse of the Black Mist is going to keep him safe. And now in the top lane, Whippo is 6. Whippo is 6. They're trading back in the bottom lane. The Spider's been ignited, but Finn really has nowhere to go. Does have the flash. The chase is on. Whippo with the decimating smash will take his man down in the top lane. In this game, Fnatic trying to do a traditional Fnatic thing as they hide in the bush, and Hansama taken out by Selfmade, chased down with the whiplash, and now lost next to the now an 8,000 HP on it. Selfmade was caught out, he was spotted. Hansama jumping forward. Could flash the wall, decides against it, hits another Mystic Shot though, and Selfmade is down to 200 HP. If Whippo realizes, probably don't want to stick on that Baron too much longer, you don't have a smite. Selfmade, oh, he snuck all the way around. Hansama, he's behind him. Depth charge coming out, but there's the arcane shift across the wall. Selfmade still trying to get in. Dawning Shadow, there's the charm. Selfmade dives into the back line. And quickly, 3 players from Rogue are deleted. Last caress from Selfmade alongside the damage from Reckless will make it 4. And Rogue, they tried as they might, but you cannot stop.
Flash back against the wall. Selfmade saw his moment and ripped him apart in the same way that Fnatic have ripped Rogue apart.
Finn's TP was cancelled by Hylissang, and you have to think he's not going to have enough time to get back here. In fact, even stopping his base. Fnatic, you can never count them out. They outlast Rogue, and they book a rematch with G2.
Rogue were clapped 3-0 by Fnatic, running the same champions, the same charge comms, and the same pick ban style where they chose blue side on all 3 games. What was Fnatic's response? They immediately abused the fact that Rogue's jungler, Inspired, had only played tank and bruiser junglers for the entire split. With the exception of Olaf, all of the jungle champions Inspired played are slow at clearing jungle monsters, must pull off those early game ganks, and they must be efficient in the way they can peel for their carries. Fnatic's Selfmade countered these junglers by picking fast clearing, high farming AP junglers in Evelynn and Karthus. As they purchase more AP damage items, their clears become faster, giving them more levels and in turn more control of the game. Fnatic are able to run AP junglers because they knew that Rogue's mid laner, Larson, is likely to pick control mages, so Fnatic are able to lock in an AD mid laner in Lucian, who provides more value to the AP damage of Selfmade's Evelynn and Karthus. I mean, just look at the damage. Look at the level difference between the junglers. Look at the value of counterpicking for jungle on red side. Rogue were simply destroyed by Fnatic. But there is hope. As of the recording of this video, Rogue managed to crush Mad Lions in the lower bracket of the playoffs in stunning fashion. How did they manage to do that after suffering such a crushing defeat at the hands of Fnatic? Why don't we take a look at the draft for this series? What do you immediately notice? Take a look at Inspired's jungle picks: Hecarim, Graves, and Evelynn. Guess how many times Inspired played these 3 champions in his competitive career? 0, 0, 0. In a matter of a week, Rogue prepared 3 entirely new jungle picks that have completely different styles from the tanks and bruisers Inspired has been playing until now. These carry style junglers deal a considerable amount of damage and are expected to do, as the name implies, carry the game. Ultimately, this changes the type of team comp Rogue has drafted till now. They now resemble capture comps more than they do charge comps, with a large emphasis on small skirmishes around pockets of vision. This drastic change in playstyles allowed Rogue to seemingly surprise Mad Lions, as they were expecting them to play the same way they had against Fnatic, and for the entirety of the regular season. Nobody expected this to come out of a team that took pride in their consistency. I myself thought that Rogue was unable or unwilling to adapt and change, but I was gladly proven wrong in this match against Mad Lions. They have learned their lesson. They are willing to give up their consistency for flexibility. They are not foolish enough to repeat the same mistakes. So if any of the teams at Worlds were to watch this video, I warn you, do not take Rogue lightly. When it comes to practice settings, no one is better than Rogue. What do you have to do? Surprise them, pressure them, scare them. If not, prepare to see European banners rise high on Chinese soil. Thank you for watching the first episode of Worlds Contenders. This video was something that I always wanted to do ever since I made my YouTube channel. I've always been interested in drafting, especially when it comes to the best teams in the world, so it was obvious for me to make content like this and share it with you guys. Now, this video took me a freakish amount of time to make because obviously I had to watch every single game Rogue played in the summer split for me to make an accurate analysis. As you all know, there are going to be 16 teams participating in the main event of Worlds, so I will only be making videos for the teams that have already qualified for the main event. And in order for me to maintain a healthy schedule, I also won't be covering any teams outside the 4 major regions. That means no teams outside of NA, EU, China, and Korea. I simply do not have that amount of time before the group stages start. But anyways, I look forward to making these videos in the future. Make sure to like and share this video, don't forget to push the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.